my intrusion, but I have another message to deliver to you. And if you don't mind my saying so, it's good to see you again. More like a summons, really. Comes from Abnur Tharn, who once advised Emperor Varen of Cyrodiil. He wants to see you in Riverhold in northern Elsweyr. Said it involves the Khajiita Defense Force and a rage of dragons, if you can believe it. Not to complain, but the old wizard frightens me. He has such piercing eyes. And the way he talked about dragons made my hair stand on end. If there's nothing else, I need to move on. These messages won't deliver themselves.
Blaming Abnur Tharn will not end the dragon infestation, Chimera.
Ever the voice of reason, Speaker. Ah, here comes someone who can help us now.
When Abnur Tharn spoke of a hero of renown, I had no idea he was referring to you. It is good to see you again, though I wish the circumstances were not so dire. Well, you helped the Main before. I have no doubt you will do so again.
I was beginning to suspect you were never going to arrive. After Calcevius and my half-sister manipulated us into inadvertently releasing a rage of dragons, Elsweyr has been overrun by the beasts. We do bear some responsibility, I suppose. So much better than flock or herd, don't you think? The Khajiita Defense Force isn't prepared to deal with a threat as big as dragons, especially since they were fighting to liberate Rimmon when the huge beasts arrived. Stay focused. We'll deal with that later. Right now, we must assist the Defense Force. Rendezvous with us at their command post. On your way, however, I have another task for you. I detected a series of power surges that I want you to investigate. I was formulating a spell to track the dragons when I noticed several surges of arcane energy not far from here. They reminded me of an old acquaintance. Has a way with portals. If it is him, I want you to secure his help against the dragons. Hard to say with certainty, but I don't believe so. They remind me of Sir Cadwell, who somehow opens portals with a power of similar intensity. Check the locations I marked on your map before you make your way to the defense camp. Lord Gharesh-ri is the Speaker of the Main and the commander of the Northern Elsweyr Defense Force. His aide, Chimera, serves as both a diplomat and a spy, though she would never call herself that. If you want to know more, feel free to ask them. My half-sister, Euraxia, conquered Rimmon and other parts of northern Elsweyr about 6 years ago. The Khajiita Defense Force has slowly been taking back their province, but Rimmon is well fortified. And now, because of the dragons, things are worse. A militia drawn from the prides of northern Elsweyr. Gharesh-ri, the Speaker of the Main, has taken command during this crisis. With Dominion troops busy fighting the Three Banners War, the Defense Force must deal with the Euraxians and the dragons. Ah yes, of course you do. He does get around. If Cadwell turns out to be the source of the power surges, learn what he's doing out there and ask if he will aid us against the dragons. For all his eccentricities, he has talents we can utilize. I was formulating a spell to track the dragons when Around. Someone needed to check on Cyrodiil and try to hold the pieces together. With the central government disbanded and the imperial city a smoking ruin, any semblance of order has gone the way of the Dwemer. The people deserve better. Between the imbecilic Three Banners War and the constant rise and fall of some new warlord or bandit chief, there was more to deal with than even I imagined. Even so, I was able to make some small difference. Without a legion to command, my options were severely limited. The best I could manage was to liberate a few small villages and lead the refugees to a safe haven. Hence my desire to end this pathetic war and restore order to the Empire. You think so, Vestige? Perhaps you don't know me half as well as you think. I am Imperial through and through, never forget that. My people matter to me, as does our culture, our heritage, and our future. How should I put this so that you fully understand? None of your business. The Amulet of Kings represents the highest office in the Empire, and I refuse to allow it to become lost or stolen again. I expect nothing but your continued assistance, Vestige. However, I concede that your aid in recovering the relic was vital, so I assure you that it is perfectly safe. Safer? All right. No need to pester. Once you started your merry parade of divinely inspired destruction, I formed a contingency. In case you failed, we would need the amulet to try again with another would-be hero. Good thing you didn't fail. Do you always accept the rantings of Daedric princes at face value? After what we've seen, you should know better. But if you must know, I did try. It was a fruitless endeavor, however, as I am not of the proper lineage. Satisfied? Nothing but your continued assistance, Vestige. Don't take that threatening tone with me. But consider this. The more people who know the amulet's location, the more likely it will be for something untoward to happen. Just remember how close Manimarco came to seizing it. Safer than it was. You think I'd do what Sai Sahan did and just bring it right back to Sancre Tor? Please. Whatever you think of me, you should at least know I'm not stupid. As you can imagine, the companions were none too pleased with me after everything that transpired. I've made no effort to reach out to the survivors, nor they to me. It's just as well. That chapter of our lives ended at Heart's grief.
I suppose it is good to see you again, Walker. Someone must help Tharn clean up the mess he created at the halls of Colossus. Come to think of it, you share some of the blame, yes? Do not mind me. Rampaging dragons put me in a foul mood. Trouble? More like flying disasters. Caravans devastated, livestock consumed, villages set aflame. It is more than the Northern Elsweyr Defense Force can handle. As much as I hate to admit it, we need Tharn's help. And yours as well, Walker. Damn Abnur Tharn for translating the Wrathstone and finding that ancient ruin. He went in search of a weapon to end the Three Banners War, a weapon I told him was too dangerous, remember, and instead wound up releasing the dragons. Talk to Abnur Tharn. He and the Speaker of the Main have been formulating strategies and contingency plans. Sometimes it feels like that is all they are doing. Maybe you can set fire to their tails, yes?
You're the adventurer who helped Abnur Tharn and Chimera at the halls of Colossus? The battle mage has been waiting for you. But where are my manners? Welcome to Riverhold and the province of Anequina. I am the Speaker of the Main. No, matters in other parts of Elsweyr occupy the Main right now. That is why I am here. I originally arrived to take charge of the Northern Elsweyr Defense Force. Efforts to expel the usurper Euraxia Tharn were well underway when the dragons appeared. A few years ago, Abnur Tharn's half-sister conquered Rimin and parts of Northern Elsweyr. We recently liberated Riverhold and were about to do the same for Rimin when the dragons spread across the land. It's almost as if they came to her aid. Talk to Abnur Tharn. He has agreed to serve as my advisor, a role he knows well from his years standing beside the Ruby Throne. His strategies and tactics for use against the dragons sound outrageous, but he knows what he is doing.
I was formulating a spell to track the dragon.
No, Azazel. Never touch a Daedric monster, especially a dead one.
Don't be such a nervous netch. The dead can't hurt us. But where do you think it came from?
It stinks of Cold Harbor. Perhaps one of the Usurper Queen's lackeys summoned it, yes? What a stench! That's the stink of Cold Harbor, Walker. How such a fearsome and dangerous creature ended up dead beneath our favorite rocky outcropping, this one does not wish to speculate. Only an extremely powerful mage could summon such a monster.
Don't touch the dead thing, Theduna tells me. Like I don't know how to handle a Daedric corpse. I wonder what killed it, though. Maybe it ran afoul of a dragon.
I saw you, traveler. Why do all outsiders insist on acting suspiciously?
Look at that! Snapped my knife blade at the hilt trying to skin this strange beast. Its rare hide would be worth a fortune if it wasn't so tough to cut. I wonder if I have time to run home and get a bone saw.
I watched you go from location to location, just like the man with the pot on his head. Are you one of the soldiers intent on digging up every plot of land? Or are you simply a deviant who enjoys skulking and slinking through the wilderness? Do not play innocent with me, stranger. You must be working with that pale, gaunt fool with the ridiculous mustache. Why else would you be visiting the same places that he did? Unless... Are you an agent of the Usurper Queen? Euraxia, the hated Imperial who conquered Rimmon and falsely claimed to be its queen. Do not feign ignorance, outsider. I had just about enough of that when I talked to the man with the pot on his head. You sound as confused as he was. Kept talking to his pet lizard bird like he expected it to answer. The last I saw, he headed east. I suppose you'll find him in that direction, and south of Riverhold. Just stop skulking around. Go, find the blue-skinned fool who wears a cooking vessel as though it was a helmet. I won't try to stop you. But if I see you again, I won't hesitate to report your strange behavior to the authorities.
Uncanny. It looks just like that lovely place I dreamed of. Must be why my portals led me here. Eventually. Ah, hello there. Good to see you again, old chum. Have you come to pay your respects too? It was the strangest thing. I dreamed I was looking at this very gravestone, so here I came, and there it is, all solid and everything. Important? I have no idea. I suppose it must be. I saw it in a dream after all. Or was it a vision? I get those two confused. Anyway, I felt a sort of pull and stepped through a door, and then pish-posh, on as a bantam gras, and here I am. Tharn, you say, the grumpy battle mage. How is the old boy? The surges were probably just me. My portal took a few tries before we honed in on this exact location. Now, why don't you take a look at the gravestone and see what you make of it, Well, it took a few tries to find the exact spot I saw in my dream. A number of frightfully rude lads and lasses occupied the first location I visited, demanded my surrender, if you can imagine such a thing. Naturally, I gave them the old heave-ho. Foul smelling, I'll have you know, that was my lunch. Can't believe I lost it. And if by bantam gras you mean my faithful steed, Honor, well, he's always getting into my foodstuffs. Has the appetite of a mammoth and the cunning of a fox, that one. Dispatch? Why would I do such a terrible thing? I adore those adorable pudge buckets. Alas, Skrook was standing a little too close when I opened my portal. Poor thing fell in and took a nasty spill. When the neck bone snaps, it makes an awful sound. Were the words the same for you? Sometimes written language likes to confuse me. Words change and switch places. Very annoying. Anyway, the gravestone mentions the betrayer. Sounds like a dastardly chap. Wonder if I ever met him. I don't have the slightest idea. The words inscribed upon it conjure up all kinds of questions, though. Who is this betrayer? Whom did he betray? Why did they bury only his head? And where did they put the rest of the poor fellow? I don't have a clue. Dragons? I haven't battled a dragon since, you know, I can't remember. But I'm certain I fought one or two in my day. I was a gallant knight, after all. Of course I'll help. I'll just need to do a little more digging into this dream thing first. Did you hear that, my trusty shovel? Dragons and mysterious graves. It's just like old times. I noticed a Khajiita settlement nearby, Riverhole, if I recall. The last time I visited the place, it was barely 2 buildings and a creek. I'll meet you and Abnur there after I finish up here. Oh, you know, a bit of daring do, a righteous quest, and a quick jaunt around Oblivion, and the known planes of existence. All very exciting. Never found a place quite as lovely as Cold Harbor, but what place could be? Sir Meridia, did I say that? Well, I do recall odd lights and an exasperated voice in my head, but I thought it was related to a rap I took to the old noddle. Was that her? I hope I didn't offend or disappoint the poor woman in some fashion.
Oh, now you show up. Left me to deal with a dragon all by myself. It's a good thing I'm Abnur Tharn and not, well, some lesser mage.
Not now, Walker. I have wounded to tend to. Talk to Tharn and let me work.
I discouraged it, but not before it laid waste to most of the camp. We arrived to find the outpost being overrun by undead. Then the dragon attacked. I did what I could. I fear it wasn't enough. What about the power surges? Did you learn anything? The betrayer? There's a betrayer mentioned in the legends of Khunzar-ri. It seems those stories continue to harm me. No matter. We can deal with that later. Right now, I want to know about Cadwell. Has he agreed to lend us his support? That doesn't surprise me. Cadwell and Strange go together like hot bread and butter. I need to recover my strength. Driving off that dragon took a lot out of me. Why don't you go help Chimera while I keep watch in case the great beast returns? Khunzar-ri, hero of the Merethic era. Most of the legends are unbelievable, though the Khajiita moon singers guard the secret history. Their tales led me to the halls of Colossus. But let's save this for a less dangerous time. Tell me about Cadwell.
Damn us for arriving too late. I did not expect to find our militia under assault by a horde of undead. And then the dragon. Oh, it tangles the tail, Walker, it truly does. The militia was already depleted from the fight to liberate Riverhold, but we were determined to press on toward Rimen. Between the undead and the dragon, though, we can barely hold this portion of the outpost. Retreat is not an option. Not yet. Our resistance to Euraxia's rule requires more than just soldiers. There are intelligence reports, safe house locations, lists of supporters, documents we cannot afford to lose. Search the ruined camp and locate the documents, Walker. They are vital to our efforts to free Rimen from Euraxia's rule. And if her forces acquire them, those who help us will be exposed. Recover the documents from mail sacks in the camp and get them to Captain Nalado. Then meet us to the south. I will finish tending to the wounded here, then order the retreat. Meet us to the south after you recover the documents and get them to Nalado.
Go. Do as Chimera asked. I'll stand guard and discourage the dragon if it decides to return.
If you're so fascinated by the dead, why don't you join them? This one doesn't know you, but at least you aren't a walking corpse. This one must ask, why are you here? Bright moons! This one thought these were lost forever. You saved many lives at great risk to your own walker. You have Nalado's respect. This one will guard these documents with her life. That was one of Euroxia, the usurper queen's pet necromancer. His undead devastated our troops, so this one took pleasure in ending his existence. Now, Nalado must return to Riverhold to consult with Gharesh-ri. We must find a way to go on. Euroxia's chief necromancer, Zumag Fum, has been with her for some time, but our intelligence suggests his followers have only recently rallied to her side. Find Abnur Tharn and Carmira. Tell them to meet us in Riverhold.
I've spotted dragons circling in the distance from time to time, but it doesn't look like the winged monster that attacked the camp will return today. Was your hunt successful? Did you recover the documents that Camira sought? I must join them there. The Khajiiti forces have been decimated by this attack. It will take every strategy I can devise to help Gharesh-ri prevent the collapse of his militia. The appearance of so many undead, though, that concerns me. Yes, I read the reports. Zumag Fum and his necromancers working for my despicable half-sister. Such magic leaves behind a miasma of stench and decay. It leads to the mountains to the west, but I can't pinpoint an exact location. Good idea. Dragons are bad enough, but undead tend to go on without end. Better to deal with them now, before Euroxia's power becomes more than we can contain. In such a direct manner? Yes, as far as we know. It could have been coincidence, but the attack felt designed to hit us when it would do the most damage. I wanted to send Camira with you to find the source, but I have no idea where she's gone. Find the source of this army of undead, and if you see Camira, send her back to Riverhold. She's as reckless as she is capable, which is a dangerous combination. I'll make my way back as well. After all, Gharesh-ri would be lost without me. In case you haven't noticed, we two don't always see eye to eye. She can be impetuous and obstinate, truth be told. Camira gathered a handful of soldiers and took off to the west. If you run into her, send her back to Riverhold.
helped the clan mother retake Arentia. Right move. What do you want?
I did not expect to see you in this desolate place, Walker. Did Captain Nalado send you? Or have you come to join us as we hunt the dragon that killed so many of our warriors? Then our missions coincide. We can work together to destroy the undead and slay the dragon. It will be glorious. When we finish with the hunting and the slaying, we can report our success to Lord Gharesh-ri. I do not take orders from that old battle mage. Besides, the blood of Khajiiti warriors cries for vengeance. To disregard that cry, that is not a shame I can bear. No, I must do this. I must strike back and show my people that hope survives. The worthy life is full of risk, Walker. I assumed you knew that, given what you do. I will tell you a secret, though. Before my parents died, they gave me a pendant. As long as I wear it, Jode watches over me and provides his protection. To Jode, yes, but also to my family and heritage. I suppose you could call it an heirloom. It helps me in my role as agent for Lord Gharesh-ri, and that is all I will say about it. Now, let us go inside and find the necromancer and the dragon.